I've saved the very best to last. If you, as 21st century business people, hope to make an impact in this sluggish economy, the most important of all the lessons that Abraham Lincoln has to offer just might be this rather unassuming one. And that is, just help your people get along with each other. I can assure you, although it doesn't sound like it has much in the way of teeth, if your company doesn't have that component in it, you're looking at a whole lot of hurt. Suppose research and development is arguing with accounting, or labor and management are snapping at each other. Or how about this one? Your sales force are arguing with the customers. Is that called sugar in the gas tank or what? And what does get along with one another mean 150 years ago in the world of Abraham Lincoln as President of the United States? Well, a whole lot. American Civil War. I mean, this is of mythic proportion, isn't it? As in 620,000 casualties in 49 months type mythic proportions. And in order to get the hatred across that I'm trying to get across, that he had to deal with, I'd like to sing for you a couple of verses of a post-Civil War ballad. Post-Civil War, not Civil War. Because the hatred that fueled all those 620,000 casualties lasted far beyond the firing of the last shot. Isn't that right? I'm only going to sing you 2 verses. That's all you need. You'll get the idea. It goes like this. Oh, I'm a good old rebel, now that's just what I am. For this fair land of freedom, I do not give a damn. I'm glad I fit against it, I only wish we won. And I don't want any pardon for anything I've done. 300,000 Yankees is stiff in southern dust. We got 300,000 before they conquered us. They died of southern fever, of southern steel and shot. But I wish it was 3 million instead of what we got. I think you'll agree that there's a depth of hatred to those lyrics with sufficient force to power not just a lifetime, but whole swaths of this country for decades. And over against that, we have the example of Abraham Lincoln and Henry L. Benbow. Well, what chance does a one-on-one strategy have in coping with hatred both vast and furious? Well, not much, I suppose. But let me tell you the story, and you be the judge. February 1865, City Point, Virginia. The war is nearly over. The president is touring the front, and in the course of that tour, he happens on a tent filled with Confederate sick and wounded. The ranking officer conducting the tour stops him and says, "Mr. President, you can't go in that tent, it's full of Rebs." And if Abraham Lincoln were like 99% of the people he led, whether field commander or private, businessman, child, wife, mother, sister, daughter, he would have said, Well, thanks for the warning. I certainly don't want to waste my time on that rabble. They're the ones responsible for all this death and destruction. And unless he were a woman or a child, would invariably have added, God damn them all to hell. And that's not what he said. What he said was, that's the very place I mean to go. And he stepped inside. And inside that tent, among all those sick and wounded, was one Henry L. Benbow, a colonel in the 23rd South Carolina Artillery. Colonel Benbow takes up the story. I was lying on my back with my hands folded across my breast when the president approached me and extended his hand toward me. Sir, I said, do you realize who it is to whom you offer your hand? Do not, he said. Well, you offer your hand to a Confederate colonel who has fought you as hard as ever he could for 4 long years. Well, I hope a Confederate colonel will not refuse me his hand. No, sir. I will not. And I clasped his hand in both of mine. Mr. Toastmaster.